Can you hear me right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Is my video working?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
I cannot see this one. Alright, so I'll share the screen with the verse and then we'll start. Alright. So, Hare Krishna, everybody. So we'll start. Today we will basically study the verse 1342 and we'll discuss it. So start with prayer. Om Ajnana Tirmandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshamitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadanti Swapadanti Kam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Guru Kamalam Shri Guru Vaisham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Savaditam Savadipam Prajna Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lita Shri Vishakha Vitam Shri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatvate Gopesha Gopikanta Radha Kanta Namasute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vindaveshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Paramami Haripe Vanchakalpatru Vesha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavne Bhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Alright, so verse for today is 1342. So very nice section going on. So I'll recite the verse and then we'll go. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devam Saraswati Vyasam Tado Jayam Vadet. Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatam Shloke Bhakti Bhakti Naishtiki Tadarayastamo Bhavan Kama Lobhache Chetayate Anavritam Stam Sattve Prasiddhati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavata Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavatattva Jnanam Mukta Sangaschayate Vidyante Hridayagante Siddhante Sarva Samshaya Shante Chasya Karmani Deshvaiva Mishre. Alright. Satu samshrabhyamasaha Maharajam Parikshitam Prayo Vishyatam Gangayam Parityam Param Vrishvi. So anybody want to recite? One or two devotees?
Satu samshravayam asa Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavistam Gangayam Paritam Paramarishibhi.
Satu samsravayam asha Maharajam Parikshitam Prayopavistam Gangayam Paritam Paramarshibhi.
Thank you very much. I think both of your recitation make this successful. I think there is something will come out. You already so sweetly recite Vinu Vidhari Prabhu and Hari Puja Mataji. That amazing. Very auspicious start. So what by means Saha, the son of Vyasadev, two again. Samasharvima Asaha, make them audible. Maharajam, onto the emperor, Prakshitam, of the name Prakshit. Praya Upavishtam, who sat until death without food or drink. Gangayam, on the bank of Gangas. Paritam, being surrounded. Param Rishivi, by great sages. So I'm audible enough? Or do I need to adjust anything? All right, perfect. So translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Sukdev Goswami, the son of Vyasadev, in this turn delivered the Bhagavatam to great Emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages at the bank of Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink. And purport by Srila Prabhupada, very nice purport. All transcendental messages received properly in chain of disciplic succession. This disciplic succession is called parampara. Unless, therefore, Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literatures are received through parampara system, the reception of knowledge is not bona fide. Vyasadeva delivered the message of Sukadeva Goswami, and from Sukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami received the message. One should therefore receive the message of Bhagavatam from Sutta Goswami or from his representatives and not from irrelevant interpreters. Emperor Parikshit received the information of his death in time, and he at once, so the word is at once, left his kingdom and family and sat down on the bank of Ganges to fast till death. All great sages, rishis, philosophers, mystics, etc. went there due to his imperial position. They offered him many suggestions about his immediate duty, and at last it was settled that he would hear from Sukadeva Goswami about Lord Krishna. Thus, the Bhagavatam was spoken to him. Sripad Shankaracharya, who preached Mayavad philosophy and stressed the impersonal feature of Lord, also recommend that one must take shelter of lotus feet of Sri Krishna, for there is no hope of gain from debating. Indirectly, Sripad Shankaracharya admitted that he had preached in the flowery grammatical interpretation of Vedanta Sutra cannot help one at the time of death. So very important point. At the critical hour of death, one must recite the name of Govinda. This is recommendation of all transcendentalists. Sukadeva Goswami had long ago stated the same truth, that at the end one must remember Narayana. That is the essence of all scriptural activities. In pursuit of this eternal truth, Srimad Bhagavatam was heard by Emperor Parikshit, and it was recited by able Sukadeva Goswami. And both the speaker and receiver of message of Bhagavatam were duly delivered by same medium. So another very important point. All right, so this verse comes under the section of third chapter, which is from 40th verse to 44th verse. And this section is building up and answering the sixth question of sages of Naimisharanya. Anybody want to recollect or tell what was the question? Sixth question by sages of Naimisharanya.
Sure, Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
You want all the 6 questions, Prabhu?
No, last one, sixth question only.
The 6th question is after Krishna has disappeared or left the earthly planet, where did the Dharma take shelter?
Perfect. Thank you very much. So this section 40 to 44 is built around answering that, and exact answer is in verse number 43, which will be next week. So that's like significance or positioning of this verse. Second thing is, and very important thing is, this verse is like a hint of heart of Bhagavatam. So heart of Bhagavatam is conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. And this question, this verse is basically pointing that out, that Parikshit Maharaj went to the bank of Ganges, and Sukadeva Goswami is delivering Bhagavatam to him. So basically, starting from 2nd chapter till 18th chapter, 2nd canto to 18th canto, this verse is hinting towards. It's like, the marketing thing. When the movie comes or something on 15-minute trailer, so this is what it is like. This is what is going to happen. So this is another important point from the positioning point of view. Third important point which I saw is Parikshit Maharaj, when he know that he's awaiting his death. So what he do? He is hearing Bhagavatam. So one application point for us we can take is, so Bhagavatam is not something which you just read and you complete, and I read all 18 canto, I'm done. But Bhagavatam has to be read until the death. And as soon as you know about your death, you should submerge in Bhagavatam. And guess what? We are a product of Kali Yuga. we are always living on like a banana peel. So much uncertainty is there. So we cannot say I will be fortunate enough like Parikshit Maharaj to know my death is coming this much time. And even if we know, question is, are we strong enough to face our death? I mean, people get paranoid really. Their life get upside down when they know they have some terminal disease or very big disease. Everything goes up for toss, and they're how to get fixed in this and that. I mean, all that is good, but consciousness get diverted. So the point is this: death is imminent. It can happen anytime. Good, we don't know it. Otherwise, it's paranoid. But we can take the message. Anyways, we have to die one day. So why not to take Bhagavatam from now till my next breath, following the example of Parikshit Maharaj. And this is what I see from this verse. Parikshit Maharaj is one of my hero, and we'll discuss more why he is. But he's showing with an example. Bhagavatam is not once in a week, once in a day, or once in a month, or doing some course and do it. Bhagavatam is every day till you meet your Tatakshaha in whatever form. Every day. So that's another thing I get from this. Now let's do something here. It says Parikshit Maharaj give up everything and waiting for his death. So what did he give up? Anybody? I'll make it a little interactive. So morning time also will be nice. And I believe when we're interactive, the points stay more in our heart or our consciousness. So what all Parikshit Maharaj give up?
All material opulences,
Very specific. Let's go very specific.
like his
Thank
kingdom.
you. Kingdom. Which kingdom?
Actually, he was the emperor for the whole world.
Yes, but what the specific name of the kingdom? What was his kingdom? Bharatvarsha is whole country, but he is operating from where? Hastinapur. Does Hastinapur ring any bell?
What is the question?
Does Hastinapur word ring any bell to anybody? Did it remind of anything?
Kauravas and Pandavas.
Yeah, Kaurav and Pandava. What happened?
They fight for that kingdom.
Mahabharat battle, basically. Yes.
Mahabharat, yeah.
So let's analyze it a little bit. So it is a kingdom called Hastinapur, and it is described in I don't know which chapter of Bhagavatam later, that Hastinapur was so opulent that even Indra's opulence was like filled with that. It was competing with that. Such an opulent city, such an opulent kingdom Yudhishthira Maharaj has. And our dear friend Yudhishthira, Duryodhana, he was really he want to grab that kingdom. He'd go to any extent. He went to killing his brothers, cousins. Only not brothers, cousins. The old lady Kunti, he conspired to kill her also. He went to kill Bhima. Didn't shy in insulting or attempt to insult Draupadi. He did all he could do. Okay, just for that kingdom. Whole life, his whole motive was to become a king of the kingdom, not somehow by hook or crook get that kingdom. Okay, so that is a you can understand what is the opulence of that kingdom, what is the benefits, what are the facilities in that kingdom. Okay, and to that extent, whole Kuru dynasty was destroyed, and he's seeing his all 99 brothers gone, everybody gone. He's seeing it, but till last moment he did not get detached from that kingdom. That is a power of that is a forms and forms of this kingdom. But here we see Parikshit Maharaj like this. He gave up. He didn't even thought, oh my gosh, I'm young. I mean, he's not old man. That anyways, anyways, my death is coming. So why not to get a brownie pound? I detach. very healthy, young man, full family, doing awesome job in his kingdom, to that extent that he can confront Kali. So what you can understand the process and power of that personality. The person who is, if he could have desired, he could have changed his destiny. Like he could have just got out of it and not die, but he did not. Like this, he gave up the kingdom. So we see the detachment of Parikshit Maharaj. The question is how that happened? How come Parikshit Maharaj was able to give up this kingdom, which for this whole battle was fought basically? So many people were killed. Not even once he gave it a second thought. Okay, maybe should I consult and then I do it. He did it and then he consulted basically, because he was really fixed up. So we will analyze like why Duryodhan was not able to give up and why Parikshit Maharaj was able to give up. So Duryodhan was driven towards the kingdom because of his sense enjoyment. He want to enjoy. He want to be king. So he want to enjoy his gross senses, all opulent, wow. He want to enjoy subtle level, mind, ego satisfied. I'm the king of this great kingdom. I am the king. Dhritarashtra also has the same thing. My son became king. So it all was about me. I want to enjoy, so I want to be king. And for that, we see when some person is attached to an item, whatever sense item, what happens? So he was totally in ignorance and passion, and meet to the ruination of self and others. On the other hand, we see Parikshit Maharaj. What he is doing? Parikshit Maharaj did not fight, did not have desire. Oh, I became a kingdom. Oh my gosh, Pandavas are here. My dad is gone, and when these old people will go, give the kingdom to me. He was not even thinking like that. Okay, he was just serving his elders. And when Parikshit Maharaj, Yudhishthira Maharaj decided to transfer kingdom to him and went to carry on with his life, more into spiritual, Parikshit Maharaj did not take it as king. People will say, wow, Parikshit is a king. I'll enjoy this, nice, everything. He took it as a service. I will serve this kingdom in behalf of my elder, serial Vaishnava Yudhishthira Maharaj. So that was his mood, service mode. I have been assigned a service by my elders. Let me do this service. So when we are in service mode, we are not attached. So because service mode comes from bhakti, and bhakti, the knowledge and detachment are the subservient of bhakti. So same kingdom, same opulence, one person got really cuckoo and became a cause of ruination of everybody himself. Same kingdom, same opulence, one person get glorified for eternity and uplift everybody, not himself, all of us and generations to get uplifted. None of us or nobody get benefited from Duryodhana's attachment to the kingdom, not even him. All of us get benefited, and millions and billions and billions of people and for ages to come get benefited by Parikshit's attachment and detachment from the kingdom. Because when we were attached to the kingdom, attached in the mood of service, he did an awesome job. He even confronted Kali, even give us the pillars when we read like how to not under the influence of Kali. If have not he done it, I don't know if this conversation would have happened and we would not have known 4 racks and how to protect ourselves in service. I don't know. But because he did it, he confronted Kali. He get to know where the Kali is, how to get away from Kali, and most importantly, we get to know here Bhagavatam from Sukadev Goswami himself. So we can see attachment bring ruination to self and everybody. Detachment or service mode bring benefit to us and everybody. That's another very interesting thing I noticed was here. Another thing is this: we have to be so even detachment without bhakti may not be fruitful, may not be right thing to do. And let's take the example of Arjuna and Parikshit Maharaj. So Duryodhan was in mode of passion and ignorance, and he did what he did for the same kingdom. Arjun was in mode of goodness. Okay, and when the battle was coming up, in first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we read that he was in mode of goodness and he was giving all the arguments not to fight. And for that reason, he says, I'll renounce the kingdom. I don't need kingdom. I'll beg. So he's renounced the kingdom, Parikshit Maharaj renounced the kingdom. And both of them take just a fraction of second to take the decision. Okay? No issues about it. No hankering feeling, no how we can work it out. But at that point, by Krishna's arrangement, Arjuna was in mode of goodness. And he was giving all dharmic and moral, all example, all perfect, no flaw in it. But because service mood was not there, he was not satisfied. And Krishna says, like in second chapter, hey, how this impurity come into it? Now, oh my God, such a nice-hearted person, not to have any bloodshed, is able to ready to live as a beggar while he can be the greatest king and he's enjoying. What a personality! Wow! But what Krishna says, how come this impurity coming to is? Why are we working as an important person? Totally smashed. From what if somebody here he says, wow, great, Garland Arjuna and wow, done. And Arjuna Krishna is saying, what's happening, man, with you? So we see even mode of goodness is not good enough. And when I'll come to this point again, but I'll just make a point here. But Arjuna, when he surrendered and he come in bhakti, then he became fight for the kingdom. Actually, he didn't fight for the kingdom, but outcome was to fight for kingdom. So one person in bhakti renounced kingdom, which is Parikshit Maharaj, same kingdom. One person in bhakti fight for it. One person, when he was not in bhakti, he was not fighting, but when he come in bhakti, he fought for it. So we see like the mode of service is more important than what we do. We say, oh, I'm detached. Maybe the detachment is not needed at that time. Maybe the very severe attachment is needed. Maybe detachment is needed. So how to know? Right from the example of Arjuna, we can see. We know we can get that from the spiritual master. The principles of dharmas are very intricate. We cannot by ourselves ascertain. And we see the example of Pakistanapur. One person is detaching, while beggar, Krishna says, what are you doing? One person detached, and then he went to the bank of Ganges, then all sages come. It's in 19th chapter, 19th verse. And Parikshit Maharaj tell them, this is this, and this is my decision. What do you guys think? Again, he's consulting. He says, okay, this is this, and I am doing this. That is the quality of Vaishnava. Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. So they consult. Arjuna, when he was in dilemma, he consulted. He asked, tell me, I'm gone. You tell me what to do. 2.7 he says. And he get benefit with that. Parikshit Maharaj, though he take the right decision, and he was not arrogant. Oh, you know what? I know an end to end, and my decision is right, and I should be doing this. He was humble. He took a decision, and he presented to all the great sages present there. Okay, this is this. My death is coming. I have renounced everything. I'll fast till death here. What do you guys think? And 19th chapter of first canto, 19th was all the assembled sages, great sages, Narad Muni, Vyasadeva, Vasishta, Plasha, everybody was there. You can name it, all demigods were there. And this is very good. Bingo, go ahead. So that is another quality of consultation. Prabhupada mentioned the devotee's mood of service should be if if you're living in palace and service is that you have to live in under the tree to serve Krishna, go for it. You do that. And if you're living under the tree and service is to live in palace and serve Krishna, you do that. You don't think, oh, I'm detached. I don't live on soft bed. I'll be here under the tree. I'll go to the palace and serve. No. Idea is to serve. And idea is to follow the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master. And if this is live in opulent life, serve, sure, because you are protected, we are protected by the instruction. If you have a full faith, then palace or bank of Ganges doesn't make any difference. Like Parikshit Maharaj is an example. And another point is we should not be very attached to the service itself. Parikshit Maharaj is giving, he get a service from Yudhishthira Maharaj to serve kingdom. Now Yudhishthira Maharaj is not there. He says, oh my God, you know what? I cannot die the Diksha. I have to do something. Yudhishthira Maharaj gave me this service and I have to do this service. So not gonna happen. Sorry. But he understood what is service. He says, okay, Yudhishthira Maharaj gave me this service. Now I have to move to next service. So he make proper arrangement. He give kingdom to his very able son Janmajaya, and then he took on to the next service. So we should not be attached to service, but we should be attached to the service mode. We should be attached to what next to me. Otherwise, what happens is service became a Maya. It's very complicated, but in the name of service, we get attached, and in the name of service, we do all different things, unmentionable things. And this sometimes called spiritual bypassing also. Like we're using, we have something in our heart, weakness of heart or something going on, and we just, oh, Prabhu, this is my service, what can I do? I'm sorry if I rub you on the wrong side, but I'm sorry, very thankless service I'm doing. No, I mean, it can happen, but what is your consciousness? Did you try to make all best efforts to make it palatable for everybody, and then it happens? Or you was harsh, in the name of service you took a stick and I was just thinking, Krishna, I don't know, I'm digressing, but little bit I'll digress because that attachment to service is also not good actually. We should be attached to the person who's giving service and his mood, his instructions, and mood also, because if we just go by line by instruction, so Yudhishthira Maharaj's instruction to Parikshit Maharaj was to do this service, and he says, no, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to die. My service is this. But he understood the mood of Yudhishthira Maharaj of service. Right now is this service, next moment will be next service. And next service mine is to exemplify how to die. I mean, no, he's not contemplated like that, but he's saying, okay, this is my next step. So Krishna, okay, how does Krishna give Vedas to us? He gives to Brahma. How did Brahma get the Vedas from Krishna? Let's see.
He was made to realize in his heart, Prabhu.
Through?
I think through sound vibration.
Coming from his flute.
Yeah.
All Vedas come from flute and everything come from flute, and bingo, straight in the heart. So flute is made of, we can say whatever, stick, bamboo, it's like a stick. So Krishna, or his philosophy was so sweet, it was coming like a music, that whosoever here, even though when gopis hear his flute, it gets mesmerized and gets inspired. And we use Krishna's flute as a stick on us, on others. Means Krishna gave the Vedas, a Vedic knowledge, philosophy to uplift us. Brahma get uplifted, he was bewildered what to do, and he said, oh, tapa, and he heard and he get enlightened and he get creation, all that thing happens. But we use the same flute, same philosophy basically as a stick to self, to others. And we, our darker sides, we justify by philosophy. So say, if we are using philosophy on a self or others and it's not giving joy, this means we are not using as a fluid, we're using as a stick to beat ourselves or to beat others. So sukham, if it's getting sudukham, something wrong. So the philosophy or the teachings of Bhagavatam or Vedas or Bhagavad Gita has to be very palatable. If not, then something is wrong with us. If we by hearing, if we're getting hurt or we're getting not so sukham, and if we are talking to somebody or if you're applying to somebody and then we're crushing that person, whether it's our children, our spouse, our community member, whosoever. So just imagine, rather than flute, we're using stick. Krishna gave a flute and we just ripping it off. I don't know how I went there. Instructions. So how we misuse instructions basically. So another thing here is coming is role of guru. Role of guru is not just giving instructions, or sorry, I would say how we see guru. How we see guru is an extension of Krishna and getting attached to him. Because sometime and follow his instruction. So important than attaching to the instruction is attaching to the person first. Because when you attach to the person, you know the mood and then you can apply instructions properly. Otherwise, you can only be attached to instructions and you can apply those instructions, but there can be a lot of bloodshed for self and others, a lot of harm. And I have personal example, and I hope not, but if somebody else can relate to it, wow, how it happens. In the name of service, because we got instruction, we got some service, in name of instruction, name of service, we can really rub people or self on the wrong side. So that's very important to be attached. So Parikshit Maharaj was not attached so much to the service. He was, but more than he was attached to service, he was attached to service mode. And when you're there, you're detached even from your service. You do it wholeheartedly when you do it, but when other instructions comes, you just move on. No hard feeling. And see, okay, what best I can do in next service. So that was one thought. Other thing I was thinking is going back to Duryodhana and Parikshit Maharaj analogy. So what happened in these two cases? And Arjuna also come in picture there. So I was just thinking analogy like we all live in this world. And we all have senses, like Duryodhana has, like Parikshit Maharaj has, like Arjuna has, and we have God-given intelligence to whatever degree we use it. And the situations comes to all of us, like all three of them has, not to that degree, but some degree. Duryodhana, or I'll say this way, you're traveling, and or say like you're traveling by aeroplane. Okay, there is quite a possibility of hijacking, isn't it? I mean, there are so many hijacks also happened. When you're living in this aeroplane of this body, there's all the time possibly hijacking by our senses. Our senses will hijack us, means it hijack our intelligence, our soul, and drag us to do things which we don't want to do. That's what the hijacker terrorists do. They hijack a plane, take to somewhere else instead of its destination. So our destination, as we hear from Bhagavatam, is to realize our relationship with Krishna and go back to Godha. That's like whether we know or not, that's where we are enrolled in when we're in this human body in this world. But our senses hijack us and take a detour. Same thing happened to Duryodhana. Same thing happened to Arjuna. And it can be bad motive, it can be good motive, whatever way. We get hijacked. Sometimes we get emotionally hijacked. And instead of doing right, we can do wrong. Like we know the classical stories when A man was there, and he was waiting in a hospital in a canteen, and one lady come with his son, and she went for a token. Okay, I'll take a token of a number, and I'll come back. You stay here. I'll come back. This guy was sitting, small boy, and this other person was eating samosa and having a tea. He says, this poor boy sitting here. He says, oh my gosh, morning time, poor boy sitting. Let me buy one samosa to him. So he buy a samosa, and this boy very nicely eats the samosa. And then mother came, and this boy is eating samosa. She gets very furious and he start cursing. Who the hell has given this samosa to my son? And this was, oh my gosh, I help a poor guy by giving samosa, and what the hell his mother is doing? And then says, I travel from 4 hours or like whatever, 1 hour, 2 hour, and my son is fasting and his blood test was there and he was supposed to be empty tummy and all that thing, and he was serious. I didn't get appointment, I get appointment today, blah 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 blah. The point is this: the man's intention was right, but because it was mode of goodness, but it was not full of knowledge, it has a counter effect. Same was happening Arjuna, same happens to us also. So what is anecdote? So say when you are going in flight, so what the people do that flight don't get hijacked? Anybody?
Monitoring.
What monitoring? Yeah, good point, but go more in deep.
Where the flight is going.
But that's when this take off. But before that also, what all precautions they take? That there is no possibility of hijack. Security. Very tight security. All different security checks are there. Then inspection of vehicle, everything is there, right?
Okay.
So for us, or for Duryodhana not to get hijacked, what are our security check that we don't get hijacked in this world? Our security check is the program given by Srila Prabhupada, following 4 racks, chanting, and hearing or reading the books by Prabhupada. When we do this, these are the different basically what is called TSA checking points. You check here, you check here, you check here, and when we start our day, passing through all security checks, taking proper precautions, taking proper boarding pass, chances are it's not only one person. So we have so many senses. So all senses, all passengers going to aeroplane has to go through the security check. So all our senses has to go the security check when we start the day. Then the possibility of hijack is minimal. Again, if hijack happens, because it happens, so what happens? What people do? Say plane is hijacked. So what is the next step they follow? Anybody?
Try to contact higher authorities.
Higher authority. So when we get hijacked, we contact higher authorities. We have a God-given guru or senior Vaishnavas, mentors. We can discuss our problem there. Okay, boss, this is happening. I'm heading towards that. Can you please? What's your opinion? Or I'm really confused. What do you think about it? My points are this, but I know in my heart it's not satisfying. Or even if satisfying, what do you think? Like, two example, like Arjuna example, he was hijacked, all good reasons, not feeling satisfied. He contacted Krishna and he says, please tell me, Dharma Sutta, like what is according to Dharma what I should be doing. He got hijacked, but he did the right thing. He did not let it plane go to too far. When he saw his hijacking, he immediately contacted the control room. Parikshit Maharaj, he didn't get hijacked. He get proper takeoff, but he still consult all the rishis. You know what, this is this, I'm going this route is right. Do you think? Or is any better route from here to there I can follow? I think I'm thinking this is a route. I'm quite satisfied. and I'm sure it is right, but you guys are very expert, and I look up to you. What do you think? I'm on right track, or do I need to take the tool, or is better way I can do it? So that's the role of guru in our life. And we think that in this Kali Yuga, the must to have is like back home we're India, come to US, having citizenship, or having an iPhone, or having a car, or having this much bank balance, must to have. Sure. But most important thing must to have, and not just to show, but just for the guidance, is guru. Without that, we can see the great personality like Arjuna can get hijacked. So what to speak of Tom and Jerry like us or me? I should not speak for all the Vaishnavas here, but I can tell about myself. That's very, very important. Now question comes is, fine, we take a guru, we have everything, we have guru now. Parikshit and Arjuna is guru, and most of us is guru. And Parikshit was spot on in taking a decision. Arjuna was hijacked, but when he surrendered, he get instruction. And in the 18th chapter, 73rd verses, Karishye Vachanam Tava, Moha Nasta Smriti Lada, Tavad Vachanat Mayachutya, Sito Aham Smriti Ladva, Karishye Vachanam Tava, he said, he, illusion is gone. I regain my memory. I'm totally fixed, and I'll do your words. That's what he said. Last verse of Arjuna, 73rd verse in Bhagavad Gita. But why it does not happen to us, but me? The big question. There is no difference between the guru we have now and guru Arjuna has. Absolutely no difference. It's exactly the same, because guru is not that person in front of you only. Guru is a representative of all combined personalities behind them. So when we surrender to guru, we are surrendered to Arjuna, Krishna. Personally, one to one, there is no difference. Like when you connect to a socket in your home, you are connecting to a powerhouse somewhere. Or say, simple example, everybody of us go to Amazon.com. Yes, I use a website because everybody will be using that. If anybody is not using it, use another example. So I assume that everybody is using, nobody's answering, but I assume that. So you go to your laptop. So when you're going to Amazon or doing shopping to Amazon, you're not going to Amazon server or warehouse. So you treat as Amazon server, main service Krishna, and your laptop is you, and then your browser window is your guru where you're interfacing with. And at your guru, you type www.amazon.com and you hit submit. Means you're surrendered to guru, and your guru is connected to other acharyas, gurus, which are like, you can say, routers or whatever, firewalls behind, and ultimately going to this Amazon server, which is, we don't know where it is, which is in Goloka for our case, Krishna. Ultimately, it's same thing. You don't see Amazon server, but you see your browser window, you see all the products coming from there. So you see your guru and all the qualities, all the instructions, all the things coming from guru to you. Your guru is our browser window to the server, to the Krishna. So there is absolutely no difference. So still there is no difference in what happened to Arjuna, Parikshit Maharaj is not happening to us. What's going on? What's missing? So the missing is the faith, level of faith. Mentally or intellectually, we might have faith, but deep down, do we have that faith? When Prabhupada asked, is all his like senior disciples were there, sannyasis, so GBC member sannyasi at that time, and Prabhupada asked, so do you have a faith that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead? Firm faith. Nobody spoke. Nobody can say anything. And Prabhupada says, if only few members of our society have firm faith that Krishna is Supreme Personality Godhead, this world will change. So we can understand from that conversation, that question, Prabhupada, having faith, how important is that? And not half-cooked, superficial or mental or intellectual faith, but faith deep inside. Prabhupada is that, right? He says in second chapter, the definition of faith also. And that's why he could change the face of whole entire society, entire world forever. Our faith, and I'm not putting anybody on this, it's just I'm speaking in first person, second person, to make it a little more relatable. Everybody of us can go into our heart. Our faith is not that strong. Doubts comes. And even doubt don't come, unconsciously, we don't say, oh, perfect. Like, I'm getting very, what is the right word? Inspired and very deep on reverence for my new Siksha Guru, Saint Francis from CC. So Maharaj was speaking about him again and again, and I really perfect joy from him, really stuck. And it's nothing new, but how he presented and how he demonstrated contemporary, it's like I see that as a Tatyanukampam verse. But the Saint Francis of CC put that in the story, the perfect joy story is really amazing. Bring that Tatyanukampam verse right spot on with application. So when we have a faith, I feel that when we have a strong faith, we will have the conviction like Srila Prabhupada, we'll have conviction like senior Prabhupada disciples. I can see in a lot of them that firm faith. You can see the firm faith, that firm faith in Saint Francis of CC. And we can evaluate, we can see that firm faith in Queen Kunti. And we can see the firm faith in Parikshit Maharaj. We can see if during the trying situation, if I am able to keep my calm with Krishna's center, and not that we became dumb and don't do anything, but my head don't get heated, my heart does not get all screwed up, then we have faith. Okay, this is happening to me or happening for me in Krishna's ascension, my dear Lord ascension. So why to get all bent up about the situation? He has sanctioned it. He has approved it. And then Queen Kunti comes as my hero in that. I mean, he says, why this? Give us more, give me more. Whoa, what's that? Because perfect joy in that displeasure or discomfort, material discomfort, she's feeling spiritual enlightened. Like Parikshit Maharaj. Death, I mean, the corona was there, we all were, so we see a very close, we all has a very close encounter to the concept of death at least. That fear, I mean, I feel like we didn't have that fear, that urgency, or that we just know the death by word or somebody die here and there. With the corona, it was just very something which can grasp any moment. That thing was there, and we can see how things were in our life. I mean, we can. I'm not saying that we should not make arrangement, but we can see our state, our consciousness was what was there. Were we worried? Were we fixed up? And everybody can have their own answers. There is no cookie cutter answer to it. It's personal thing. But we can see here Parikshit Maharaj situation. How fixed he was in amidst the death also. Why that happened? Because he has a firm faith. This is good for me. Whatever happened is good for me. This is Krishna's arrangement. My dear Lord has sanctioned this. Otherwise, it cannot happen. In our case, I feel we can take, if anything happens like with Tantric verse, Tatyanu verse, if anything is happening wrong to me, which I perceive is wrong, is because of my karma. And Krishna is so grateful, is giving me, and is giving me the shelter of Guru. How about I learn and grow from this? You can, and how can I take a guidance that this heat which is coming in my life make me more better than bitter? If we don't have that faith, if we don't have that shelter, if we don't have that connection, we become very bitter. We see people in general life. But when we have a shelter of Guru, shelter of Shastras, teachings, then we can become a better person. And this is what exactly is example of Arjuna, Parikshit Maharaj, Duryodhana. Duryodhana became bitter and bitter and bitter and bitter and bitter, to the extent that he became poison for self and all everybody else. When things didn't fall the way it should have fallen for him, what he thought, I should be king. That was his desire. It didn't fall. He didn't say, okay, it's not, Krishna didn't sanction, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so let me serve Yudhishthira Maharaj. That is his service. Let me assist him in his service. Nah, he became so bitter. He could not take Krishna's arrangement and became so bitter that he became poison for self and others. While in case of Arjuna and Parikshit Maharaj, we can see because of mode of service, because of shelter, they became a nectar for everybody, for generations to come, not only for themselves. Because of these two great personalities, because they have firm faith, we have Bhagavad Gita, we have Bhagavatam. And last point, the important point, I did not beat too much on it, but the importance of disciplic succession. So having a guru, but having a guru in bona fide different succession is utmost important, which was the first paragraph Prabhupada mentioned, but I didn't went too deep in it. But we can see Sukdev Goswami getting from Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva gets from Narad Muni. Narad Muni, Brahma from Krishna. So disciplic succession is coming. Sutta Goswami speak to Sejo Naimisharanya. He heard from another Bhagavatam, Sukdev Goswami. So hearing from a person who's a devotee is very important. Otherwise, it will be just a show. So with that, I'll conclude. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to share. Anybody, any reflections, any discussions?
Hare Krishna, Kapama.
Hare Krishna. Bro.
Thank you for, as usual, another wonderful class, Prabhu. And one thing is very practical class, your class always. Very beautiful, nice, practical examples. Like your example, like Amazon and also flight hijacking. For neophyte like me, is very easy to understand and connect to the philosophy. Otherwise, I cannot understand direct philosophy. So very nice class, Prabhu.
Also, with all humbleness and because of an association of devotees like and friends like you and all, able to speak something by mercy of Maharaj. And
Yeah. Prabhu, I don't have that. So I think you said in one point that it doesn't matter we have in sitting in the nice bed or sitting and sleeping under the tree. It doesn't matter, but the service mood is more important, right?
Yeah.
But that is very much true as long as that you're attached to the service mood.
Yeah.
But Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says in 6th chapter that if one is not successful, I mean, Arjuna asks that, right?
Yeah.
One is not successful in yoga in this lifetime, one will be taking birth in aristocratic birth or something like that, he said. But what my point is that, yes, because when you have a material opulence, or when you are born of aristocratic family, in that condition, your basic necessities are well taken care, so that you have a higher chance to practice bhakti.
Yeah.
But at the same time, our material opulence actually makes us pride and become mad. There is a possibilities there. Like you said, the Kunti Devi, because she is in a material discomfort situation, she is possible for her to always in that mood, carry that mood, right?
Yeah.
So how do we think? Sometimes I get this doubt. So how do you think?
Yeah. So definitely is very scary situation. And that's why if you see all devotees, their earnest desire is to have association of devotees. Parikshit Maharaj, if you see the, I'll show that actually. 19th chapter, he says that. He says his desire, okay, I want association. Let me see. Not finding, but he says, let me have.
Text 16, Prabhu, I think.
Huh?
Text 16.
Yeah. So again, offering obeisances unto all the Brahman, I pray that I should again my birth in material world, I will be completely attached to the unlimited Krishna and his devotees and friendly relation. Same for the Prahlad Maharaj says. So these devotees, the point is this: whether to be in material world and having opened is very risky situation. It's like a double-sided sword. It says one is an enemy, one is on you. You can kill so many people also in war with two-sided sword, but it's one always is towards you also. So important point is that deep prayers. Then we can use his facilities. Otherwise, we can use by those facilities. So that's the thing. That the only anecdote for that is prayer, and we can see Prabhupada also said. Prabhupada was one time he was in a temple. He paid obeisance to deities, get up, and he was praying. And the devotee asked, Prabhupada, what are you praying for so long? Prabhupada saying, I'm praying to Krishna. Please protect me from Maya. And they says, Maya, you Maya? He says, you don't know, Maya is very strong. So Prabhupada, he's praying to we in our situation and in next life to come, wherever Krishna sends is, the devotee's prayer is not, oh, I did this much and I'll be in opulent family. Krishna make sure I'm in a very good family and I can use that money. No, his prayer is wherever he keep, give me association devotees, give me association devotees, give me association devotees. Birth after birth, give me my shelter, my Guru. That's the only anecdote. Another point I didn't cover as planning to cover was like how not to get entangled is minimizing things. Whatever is necessary, even if you're in palace, with the minimal things, how can manage? Because once things start happening, I need this, I need this, I need this. You know that story of Brahmana, right? He was sitting at the bank of a river chanting, and his dhoti get wet. He says, "Oh, I wish I had another dhoti. I could have wear the dry dhoti and chanted nicely." Then he bring another dhoti. Then mouse came and start cutting dhoti. Then he get a cat. Then for cat he need milk. Then he get cow. For cow he need somebody to milk, take care of cow. Then he got a wife. Then he got children. So all that entangled. He says, oh, "What did I do? Just for one wet." So we should, if possible, tolerate the discomfort we have in no matter much how opulent condition is there, and fix up in the situation when we have the awareness. And next life we don't have awareness, so we pray in this life so that in next life I have association. So that'll be my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, I think, thank you, Prabhu. I think, sometimes there's anyway is a different topic. What is my need and what is my want? So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I can understand. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Anybody else who wants to share anything, any discussion, any realizations, any
Hare
take
Krishna,
home?
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, thank you for the wonderful class. Like Rajijana Prabhu said, it's always very insightful, and I learn a lot. Prabhu, I can understand Duryodhana's example. I can understand Arjuna's example. When it comes to Parikshit Maharaj, how do I understand? When he got the information that he has been cursed by the Brahmana and he is going to die in 7 days. At that point, he did not, that's the point where you would think he should consult a guru, right? I mean, he took the decision of renouncing everything.
Yes.
And accepting, of course, He accepted that that's his destination and he has to prepare for it. How do you understand that he didn't consult a guru at that critical juncture, and then later on, of course, he surrendered once he took the decision?
Yeah, I mean, he was surrendered before also. At that time, he considered, am I right? And the point is this, as I say, is that if at that point when he was at the bank of Ganges, if Vyasadeva, any great sage would have said, you know what, I think it's not a time, you go back and go to palace and you have to rule for some more years, he would have gone there.
Okay.
So that is under.
Okay.
So the point is this. Guru is not our validator of what we're thinking. Okay. So sometime when you're crystal clear, and Guru is Cheta Guru also. So I feel that he has from inside very strong, from Paramatma. This is the right thing for you to do. So he did that, and there was no selfishness into it. Okay, he did that. He take a decision, and in a service mode. And when others were there, he still counter verified. Like sometimes he says, okay, some situation come in life, and sometimes ask Maharaj, I think that this is right to do, and I take decision and I consult Maharaj. I mean, for my case, I consult before taking decision. I take decision, I think this should be done, and then ask, oh, Maharaj, this is situation, this I'm thinking, kindly guide. And sometimes he says, yeah, sometimes did you consider that this, all that different thing happens. So point is not that we have a situation in hand and we go to Guru, okay, tell me what to do. Point of the situation, best of my capacity, this is my thing. What do you think? Please guide me. Sometimes Guru may be accessible, may not be accessible. We have to go with the decision, and we have to remember Guru's mood, his instruction, what he would like me to do, and go for it. Like for a simple example, I say, like all of us, we have or most of us, we have a Guru present right now in we can conversate. But think about disciples of Srila Prabhupada? They don't have Prabhupada physically available here to call them or email them and ask Prabhupada, what should I do? Parikshit Maharaj was there here 7 days only, and there was no cell phone or email at, and I'm sure like say Sukhdev Goswami Vyasa, his guru is not present there, so he'll not wait. They'll come after 10 days. I'll postpone for 10 days, and after 10 days, when I consult them, then 7 days will count. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm sure he would have discussed whosoever nearby is, but he was okay, this is the right thing to do. And when the Guru came, first question he asked was, tell them this. He pay obeisances, give them seat. He says, this is my situation, this decision I've taken, what do you think?
Yeah.
He didn't bypass there, right? He could have, oh, I have made my mind, please tell me. I'm doing this. He didn't have facility at that time. Nobody was available. So he go with the Cheta Guru. But the first moment he has an opportunity, he consult.
Yeah. I mean, he could have, just, I agree that, Chaitya Guru is, the guide at all times, he's guiding us.
And I'm sure he didn't, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Say in the Bhagavatam that he consulted Brahmanas before taking the decisions or that particular decision. And also another aspect is, he is such a detached person. Yeah. He could have been in the kingdom and done Krishna Katha for the next 7 days.
And he was doing it, yeah.
That was also, I was thinking that direction.
Yeah, but see, the point is this. He was doing that all the time, right? He was in kingdom and he was totally absorbed in Krishna Katha.
Yeah.
But by his example, he's showing when it is a time, and you don't have to even waste one. He didn't eat. If you notice the verses, he didn't eat or drink.
Yeah.
Which is a bare minimum necessity of life. So the sense of urgency which Parikshit Maharaj is showing is there. When it's a time, you don't have even a microsecond to waste.
Yeah.
Even microsecond. So if he would have been in palace with all and kings and men, and everybody's emotion would be there, right? The child is crying, wife is crying, this, that, oh, it is, did you do my insurance policy? This is there. Are we covered? I'm just joking. But things will be there in that environment.
Correct.
And he want to unplug totally. Total unplug. And that's why I choose. And he's showing us by example. There is a time for unplugging. We don't have to unplug totally, but we can learn from this and unplug during chanting time at least.
Yeah,
in a
definitely.
day. 2 hours. At that time, I'm unplugging. I'm in a Parikshit Maharaj mode. I'll assume after 2 hours, I'm dying. I hold my chanting bead. After 2 hours, my life is going away. How Parikshit Maharaj gave me that mode. We can learn that and apply that. You can see if we have a cell phone in our hand and even we're sitting in home, how much nice chanting happens, how much distraction happens, right?
Yes.
So Parikshit Maharaj want to cut off all of that. Even though he don't have iPhone, but he want to cut off even a slightest thing possible. My wife will say, oh, please eat. You like gajar halwa, you're playing 7 days, please eat. What else I can make 7 days? I mean, not wrong, they have their own motion, but his priority was all set.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. That's a nice understanding. Yeah. That helps.
And I'm sure if he would have email address or cell phone, he would have called. He could have discuss, and then say, okay, could have dialed to Vyasadev and okay, this is my situation. I'm thinking this. What do you think? How you guide me? But all those facilities were not there, and time was running, so he took a decision come there, and first facility he consult. So that's my understanding. All right, it's already 8:07. So thank you very, very much for this opportunity for me to learn and go deeper in Bhagavatam. Really, really grateful for your time, for your encouragement.